Hi, I'm Spencer Jarrell, Executive Director from Human Factors International. HFI has been leading the way in user experience design and usability for over 25 years. And one of our latest pursuits, and a key aspect of my job, is in innovating ways to scientifically make designs more persuasive and engaging so that you can better meet your business objectives. You've probably heard of PET design, or designing for persuasion, emotion, and trust. And today I want to walk through an example with you from a website that I think you're probably familiar with, of just how we can go about making a design more persuasive. So let's jump right in.
I want to start by showing you one of the key tools that we have in our Persuasion toolkit. You're now looking at a chart of over 70 different techniques that we apply when we're designing for persuasion. So let's take a look at a few of these tools in action so that you can see what I mean. And in order to present the tools, I want to use the Delta site as an example. So the first thing that we need to do is set our persuasion objective. And of course, one of the things that Delta wants to persuade you to do is to purchase a flight. And moreover, they'd love it if you purchased a flight that you didn't even come here looking for. That would do wonders for their conversion rates. So here's the area where they have the opportunity to do that by offering you special airfare deals. But is this design persuasive? After seeing this, are you really ready to go off and book a trip? Perhaps, but I'd like to show you how we can really make this design far more persuasive. So let's take a look again at our Persuasion Chart, and I'll pick some of the tactics off of this list so we can progressively enhance the effectiveness of the design. So first I'll grab this one here, and we have optimal level of dissonance. So this means that you can draw my attention and make me read more if you present something that seems a bit unusual, but not so unusual that it loses credibility or turns the consumer off. So it really needs to be just at that optimal level where I'm intrigued and I want to learn more. So let's try this. Airfare deals from $34 round trip. So that sounds almost unreal, but actually it could be true. And so now I'm intrigued enough to want to learn more about these deals. So that hopefully enhances the persuasiveness of the design, but it's really not enough. We want to continue to pull things off of this job aid of PET tools so that we can continue to enhance the persuasiveness of the design. So let's take a look at the list again, and I'm going to pull a couple other things off of it. So we have the feel-good principle and reason for request. With the feel-good principle, if you give me a reason to feel good about a decision, then I'll be more likely to make that decision. And with reason for request, if you give me a reason for making that decision, then I'll also be more likely to make it. So in fact, the word because in and of itself sets off a special trigger in our brains. So let's go ahead and make me feel good about making this decision and give me a reason for making it at the same time. So we'll go ahead and add because you deserve a break. So now I'm feeling like, oh, I have a reason for taking this vacation, and that really makes me feel good about making that decision. So here we see that the persuasiveness little by little is enhancing. So let's keep going. I'm going to go ahead and pull something else off the list, and we have the contrast principle. So one of the most powerful things you can do is help me see the value of something. But you have to remember that we don't have an internal value meter as human beings that tells us how much everything is worth. In fact, we always evaluate things in comparison to other things. So you can show me the price, and that may give me a bit more information, or you can show me the price in contrast to something else. In this case, we're showing it to you in contrast to what it might otherwise cost. So here's the typical cost, and here's how much you'd save with this special deal. So now it's actually starting to seem like an unbeatable deal. I'm feeling more and more persuaded with each step of the way. So let's go back to the chart of persuasion tools and see what else we can add. I'm going to go ahead and grab visceral processing off of the list. And this basically has to do with the way our brains automatically respond to stimuli like bright saturated colors and smooth objects. So because we make judgments very quickly, visual design is a key aspect of persuasion. So let's go ahead and make an enhancement. So that should really produce a better visceral response. I think this is getting better and better, but I think that we can still pull some more tools from the list so that we can ante up here and make this design even more persuasive. So social proof is this next one that I'm grabbing off the list. And this means that our brains take a decision shortcut by interpreting popular things, or things that a lot of people are doing, as things that are worthwhile. So this is kind of like the original peer pressure, right? This is, everybody's doing it. So let's add another element to the design. Top 10 most visited. So I've never even been to Puerto Vallarta, and apparently it's one of the top 10 travel spots. So it seems like I might be missing out if I don't go. So, okay, it's time to add another tool to the list. Let's see what else we can do. I'm going to go ahead and grab social learning. We're influenced by others, especially those who are like us or people that we particularly respect. So if you can make me think that people just like me love this vacation spot, then I'm more likely to want to go there too. So what we can do is go ahead and add some user ratings. So we see that 256 people reviewed the site, it got great ratings, and here's a testimonial that shows someone like me who's saying that really this is the best beaches, it's so much fun with the different things I can do there, the food's fantastic, and of course we want to make sure it's someone like me. Joe the plumber, I guess you'll have to excuse the political humor here. So I think now we're getting warmed up. The design is really starting to seem persuasive, and I think that we can kick it up a notch. So I'm going back to the chart of pet tools, and so here's another one. Scarcity. People think that if there isn't much of something left, that means that others must really want it. It must be really worthwhile and valuable, and we certainly wouldn't want to miss an opportunity of this running out. So let's take a look here and see what we can do to the design. Aha! There's only 2 seats left for that trip to Puerto Vallarta. So now I better act fast on this deal. It's a great deal and it's running out fast. So I think that at this point we're really starting to hit home with persuasion. But of course, knowing me, I think that we can probably add something else to up the ante one more time. So looking at this trip to New York, I noticed that there's 12 seats left. So that doesn't provide the power of scarcity as with the Puerto Vallarta trip, where we see that there's 2 seats left only. So let's see if we can add something else from the list. Okay, we have extrinsic reward. So if we can give people something, then that can help motivate them to act. So we'll go ahead and add something to the design. So okay, I get 12,500 bonus miles if I purchase this trip to New York, and actually that's halfway to enough miles for a free trip, so that's pretty good. And additionally, we're using scarcity once again. So this is a different type of scarcity because we're not saying that it's actually running out, but we're putting a limited time on this. So the deal does run out, so it's time for me to act. I think that you can probably agree that the design has gotten much more persuasive at this point. And let's just go back to the job aid of pet tools, maybe 1 or 2 more times and see what else we can do. So I'll pull association off this list, and basically what I want us to do is keep in mind that we can be conditioned to pair specific images with a particular concept. So what we want to do is go ahead and add a picture here that helps me associate this vacation with the right feeling. So it's relaxing on the beach. it's really putting me in that mindset that might further persuade me to go forward with this decision. So let's just do one more. And I'm going to grab written public statement. So there's a lot of power in getting a public or a written statement. Ask people to put something in writing, and they'll be far more likely to follow through with that later. So let's go ahead and add something to the design once again. And as you can see here, I can set a price at which I want a trip. So I can say that I want a trip for $300. And then if I actually state that, if I actually enter that, and they find a trip for $300, suddenly I'm far more likely to follow through with the purchase because I put that decision in there that that's a price point that would satisfy me. So let's actually now just take a step back and remember what the old design looked like. And let's compare it to the new design. So which design is more persuasive? I think the answer should be pretty clear by now. So as you can see, these persuasion tactics are really powerful, but there's one thing I want you to keep in mind, which is that these tactics alone won't give you the optimal design. The other key to persuasion is to conduct research with real customers to truly understand their decision making, their emotions, their motivation, what drives them to make a decision, what blocks them, and how would we combat that if it's preventing them from moving forward with a decision. So these research methods are really where the rubber meets the road, and we can probably talk about that another time. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something new. Of course, Human Factors International specializes in training and consulting in persuasion, usability, in all aspects of user experience design. You probably know we're the biggest and oldest usability company in the world, and as you can see, we're always trying to innovate and move forward. So contact us if you want to learn more about any of this, and if you liked the video, let us know, and we'll try to make more of these.